Good evening, YouTube. Greetings to everyone. Yes, I'm in the car. I'm in my car. I'm in the garage, just sitting here, about to take off to this Walmart. I got to get a couple things. No, I'm not going up to Walmart to level up. Hell, I mean, if there's some level up opportunities, I'll do it. But yeah, I'm gonna make this video here. This is because it's pretty late. It's like 11 o'clock, and I had to go up there and take care of that. And I was gonna come back and do some other things, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and make this video in the car on my way up here to the store. So as the title says, this is going to be about raising bilingual children, or how to go about training your child to become bilingual. I've been getting a lot of these questions. People telling me that they're about to have a child and they're wanting to know how they should go about training their children or child how to become bilingual. So this is new for me. It's a new thing. I have three daughters. I have twin daughters. They're three now, 3.5. They'll be four soon in December. And I have a newborn who's like, what? How old is she now? 9 months? Yeah, she'll be a year in September. So this is new, and I'm still learning, but I've learned a lot. It's been 3 years, and my two daughters, they basically understand both languages now. They can speak, but it's like they kind of, when they speak, it's like back and forth. You hear them speaking English, and then you got Chinese coming out, so it's like all mixed up. But yeah, I guess I can say I have I've learned a lot enough to be able to talk about how to go about starting and what you need to do. So I'm no professional at this yet, since I'm still learning. But like I said, I've been doing it for 3 years, so I can share my experiences with you. So basically, it's really, if you think about it, it's not complicated. It's just like how you learned your language. If you just think about it, think about, okay, or even if you have, in your family, or someone with a child, what are they doing? What are they doing to, um, you know, what are they doing for their child to learn a language? They're basically just exposing them. They just, kids, they're there. You have all this media stuff. They hear the parents talking. All this exposure. Um, Obviously, they're, one, less than one. They're not speaking anything yet because they're still young. They still have to get used to the language. So it's basically exposure, from a young age. Just get them exposed. So for me, my wife, she speaks Chinese. She's a native speaker. So I told her that she needs to speak to them in Chinese as much as possible. She needs to. I mean, she does speak some English to them, but I tell her to make sure she's speaking way more Chinese than English, because she's not a native English speaker. I mean, she speaks English well, but she needs to leave that to me. I'm a native English speaker, so I need to speak to them, as much as I can in the English language. So we made an agreement for her to do, she speaks in Chinese and I speak in English, because it makes sense. I want them to be able to speak both languages. It's very important, especially Chinese, because um, my in-laws, they can't speak English. So, when they go to Taiwan, once they start going over to spend time, they have to know the language. So it's good to get this started at a young age. So if you're having a child, make sure, or you're having a child and you're wanting to expose them to, I don't know what language you're interested in doing. Let's say if it's Arabic, then you need to find someone who's a native speaker and have them speak, just speaking all Arabic to them, from a young age, and then get some media stuff. Like for me, my daughters, they like to watch. They have the iPad and they watch like YouTube videos and stuff, and I monitor them. Of course, I monitor what they're watching, and I noticed that they they tend to watch um, a lot of there's what languages I hear very often: Russian, um, Spanish, a lot of Spanish or Russian, and then sometimes I hear Italian, and then what else? A lot of Japanese lately, and then Telugu. I know that's weird with Telugu. I hear them say, "What is that?" And I go see what they're watching, and then it's Telugu. So they already, it's very interesting because they already attracted to other languages right now. Um, they'll just, if it's not, they'll just, if it's Russian, they'll sit there and watch it for like 30 minutes. I can't remember the name of it. It's like it's this Russian cartoon. It's a bear. It's this bear and this girl. I don't know. Maybe you guys know the name of it, but they watched that. I haven't seen them watch it lately, but maybe a few months ago, they were watching it a whole lot. That's the Russian they were getting, and then there's some other random shows where they had Russian. So they're attracted to other language right now. But I try to make sure they getting that Chinese and the English, and they're getting English. English is guaranteed. They're here in the English-speaking country. A lot of media's English, so they're China. I'm not worried about Chinese and English. As far as other languages, they're picking up. Like they know some Japanese and it's mixed up. Japanese, Korean, Taiwanese. Those languages, you will hear them saying stuff in those languages. And the Japanese, they know. I didn't teach them. They learned that from the children's show. They know about Anpanman-san and all this other stuff, and they say oishi whenever they're eating something and it's good, they'll say oishi. They don't even say it in Chinese, they say it in Japanese. They say oishi, oishi. I guess because that's they've been watching it a whole lot. But yeah, so back to how to go about doing this. Basically, it's the exposure. For me, I'm just trying to expose my daughters to the language as much as I can, and then once they get older. Once they get to the age where they can, where they start understanding, then I could use some other techniques on how to get them learning other languages. So the most important thing is to get them exposed. Media and having a native speaker to just talk to them just regularly. That's it. And then eventually they'll start producing those words. They'll start talking. They'll start mimicking you. They're going to be making mistakes. It's funny because when we'll go out sometimes and my daughters, they will be saying certain words in Chinese and my wife be correcting them because they use the wrong tone. So it's funny watching the kids make mistakes as well, but they don't know. I mean, they not scared. They're not ashamed of making mistakes. That's the process they go through. So yeah. So for those of you who've been asking me how to go about doing this, that's all you really need to do. Just the exposure. Native speaker, cartoons particularly, something with children, having to, what children will like, cartoons or something, and then whatever language it is you want them to learn, make sure it's in that language, and have them listen to it for, I don't know, I guess 30 minutes or something like that. Just let them watch it and just let them be exposed to it, and eventually they're gonna start picking stuff up. So what else should I mention here? We're about 8 minutes in this video. Yeah, so yeah, it's going well. It's amazing to me. I know it makes sense because my daughters, they've been exposed to it. They hear it all the time, but it makes me feel proud and happy to hear them speaking a different language, and they speaking Chinese. Even when I recently took them back to Akron to see my family, and my daughters, they're so used to speaking Chinese, they'll speak. They mix it up. You got the English, but then certain situations they start speaking Chinese, and then I saw my niece looking like, what is she talking about? Like, what is she talking about? I don't know what she mean. But yeah, it's great. It's great. So I'm just I want my daughters like this. I take this seriously, and it's not about forcing stuff on your kids, but when they're at a young age, you got to make sure you expose them. If you want them to learn that language, you got to make sure you take that initiative and expose them to the language. I mean, you got to do whatever you can to get that exposure for them. And like I said, when they're very young, toddlers, you just need a native. Let a native sit down with them every day, just talking to them just regularly, and then have some media stuff. And just, as time goes by, they start picking stuff up. And then, you can use some other techniques, which I haven't gotten there yet, but I have some plans for my daughters to pick up other languages. I'm not exposing them to a bunch of languages right now. It's just the main ones that are most important. And the ones that, my wife, because my wife is into Korean. She doesn't study Korean as hard as she did before, but she's still into like Korean dramas and Japanese. So, she's from Taiwan too. So she's, I don't know, she's like naturally attached to Japanese stuff. So I try to expose them to that stuff. You know, we got all kinds of Japanese stuff around the house. You know, we get Korean stuff. So, you know, I just expose my daughters to it. When they get older, they'll get used to it and say, okay, I've been doing this for 4 years. You know, it's nothing. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video. It's 10 minutes, and let me know if you guys have any other questions. But that's my journey. That's basically what I'm doing for now for my daughters is just exposure. And having these conversations, just talking to them, have my wife talk to them. So that is it. Let me go up here to the store. It's 11 o'clock. Get back home and take care of this business. And I gotta get knocked out and get back up in the morning and start all over again. Yeah. Or I gotta get some Mortal Kombat in as usual before I hit that sack. But anyway, thanks for viewing, guys, and let me know if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, have a good night, and yeah, thanks for viewing.